have, because there's only 24 hours in a day, and we can't make more. And the truth is that in order to make that family more resilient, in order to make that family more ready, time is probably one of the most crucial factors. I am happy to say that as a commandant of the Resiliency Campus, I'm like the Hair Club for Men. I'm not just the president and CEO, I'm also a client. And so I use the military family life counselors on a pretty regular basis just to gauge where I'm at and where my family's at with that resilience and that readiness to make sure that they're prepared to, like you said, be ready when I have to leave, whether that be for a fight or whether that be for the fight of my life, in the uniform that we've all chosen to don. So, that's really great, and that's really key to mention, that time aspect and some of the things that we have here to try and gain more time. Tell me one last question. When you're thinking about, your family being more resilient, things to make your family more resilient, and time being of the most importance, what are some other things that you do to bring resilience, kind of to the forefront of what your family is and what your family does on a regular basis?
Something I've seen is volunteering. My wife loves to be part of the community, volunteering with her. The days of my weekends where I want to relax and kick back at home, I got to get myself up for my kids, for my wife, show that I support her. Whether it be volunteering, like this Christmas, volunteering in a soup kitchen, show my kids, how really well they do have it. Sometimes our kids nowadays, they get spoiled rotten your kids, which is great that we can do that. We have a steady income, but there's a lot of people less fortunate than we are. And just volunteering at the church, like I said, volunteering at my kids' school. They both go to school on post, so volunteering there, going to the veterans lunches there, handing out lunches, them seeing you working and volunteering, I think it does dividends, and obviously your spouse seeing that you're putting in the extra work outside of, obviously being in the military as well.
Absolutely. Again, couldn't agree with you more. I think you would agree that, I have 21 pro fights, you have 20 pro fights, but our wives are probably a lot tougher than we are when it comes to the everyday tussle of life. And one of the things that you mentioned again about spending time, to bring it back to something that the campus offers, we have a lot of opportunities for that co-volunteering and co-partnership kind of activities. ACS, with the Military Family Life Counselors embedded in schools in CYSS, have an opportunity there for you to inculcate yourself into the school and be a part of things that are happening at the school. If you're looking to increase your family's physical readiness, we have the Army Wellness Center. I know you spoke to Mr. Lehman, who works next to the Army Wellness Center, but we have the Army Wellness Center there where families can come together and really see where they're at physically and almost make it a friendly competition to get better together and increase their readiness and resiliency in that aspect. So really, it's great that you mentioned that, because we're really tying in now to all 5 pillars of comprehensive fitness to increase that readiness of the family. And so, we can't emphasize enough, especially for my seat, everything that we have to offer here for the Fort Hood community. And again, it's a community, not just the soldiers, and also what we have and what we want to make at the forefront when it comes to family readiness and making sure that your family is more resilient. So with that said, were there any parting messages you would have, you think, for the crux of family resilience? What would you think the core of it must be, the pinnacle tenet, if you will?
Biggest thing for us as soldiers and our spouses, obviously, is, like I said, just for something really basic, is putting down the electronics, shutting off the TV, spending time with the family. Whether it be a board game, volunteering for a color run of 5K run with your family, or a walk, that's fine as well. And again, that hits the physical portion as well for your family, and just showing the community as well, and your chain of command that obviously you're a family man and first and foremost, and then obviously we're soldiers as well, and it shows that you and your spouse support what you do every day in and day out in the uniform, whether it be abroad or stateside.
Absolutely. Readiness, really, especially for the families, making sure all 5 pillars of comprehensive fitness are in balance. We emphasize the physical in the military pretty drastically, and sometimes we forget about the other 4. But really, when we're talking about a family, that's of the utmost importance to make sure all 5 pillars are there together. Social, emotional, spiritual, physical, and family are tied in and in balance together. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you.
Well, again, I'm Sergeant First Class Colton Smith, joined here with Captain Jason Norwood. And again, today we went over personal readiness, optimized performance. Just now we went over family resilience. And once again, you can follow us on Twitter at #MasterReadiness. Thank you very much for your time.
Captain Jason Norwood, feel free to tweet me at RightFight170 if you have any questions about Resilience or what the Resilience campus has to offer here at Fort Hood. #MasterReadiness, and we'll be ready for your questions and waiting.